All right, so we are outlining the rest of the functions that we have, and we don't have too many. We have a couple. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to outline the particle class before anything else. So let's see if I can spell particle correctly. All right, so the particle class. So in, I think it's ES5 or ES6, you could use, literally you could use the class declarative, but I'm not going to do that here, and you may have to use pre-compilers in order to facilitate that. So right now I'm just going to use function particle with a capital P on the title of it, and that effectively creates a class. All right, so we're going to instantiate a whole bunch of particle objects, you know, with this class. We're going to leave that for now. There's a couple other functions that I want to outline. So there is window.onload, and this is going to start everything off. Key thing here, everything off. So when the window finishes loading, on load, we are going to run a function. This function is going to do what we would like it to do to set up. That was very descriptive. It is going to first get the canvas item. So we are going to say that let the canvas equal document dot get element by ID, and we already know that it is called particle canvas. We'll double check here. Particle canvas. Just go ahead and hide this again. Particle canvas. And then what we're going to say here is that we want to have it's a couple of things. We want to set the CTX, the context of the canvas. So we're going to say CTX equals canvas dot get context 2D, and this tells the canvas that we're drawing in a 2D space. And then finally, we are going to be recalling a resize function to size the canvas to dynamically, and an animate function to start the animations of the particles or whatever we want to animate. This is only going to be called once, and it's only going to be called the one time when the window loads. So every time the page refreshes, has a full reload, this will animate will be called once. The resize will be called from multiple places whenever there's a change in the size of the window. So let's write down these functions. So we have a function resize, and we will not outline it. We won't go into that one right now. And then we have a function animate, and again, we won't go into that one right now. The resize will do some stuff, but basically we'll fill this in properly, but what it will do at the end of it is it will call another function to reinitialize the canvas. So we resized it, now we want to reinitialize it so that the animations actually fill up the entire canvas space and it's all visible. So let's write this. So I'm writing it above because since we're going to be doing a lot in this particle class, I want to be able to see how it's working. The window.onload and the resize and the animate, they don't really play too much into it. So I want to be able to have these functions close by because I'm going to be working on them together. So we have, not in here, but here, init canvas. Now for this animation, we're not really going to do this much. I just want to separate it out so that it's staged. And we're going to call init particles. Or init particle. Now we'll go init particles. All right, we're going to create another function called init particles. Now, why would I call this init canvas and all I do is call init particles? Why not just call init particles? Well, because this gives me room and flexibility to change what I'm doing. So when I stagger or stage what's going on, it allows you to address each aspect of the code at the specific stages. So rather than calling init particles and skipping init canvas, I want to call init canvas first, and if I want to do anything here, whatever it may be, I can do that and then initiate the particles by calling init particles. So it's just making sure that I am going through the proper stages. Even if I don't do anything at that stage, or it can be passed over, I'm making sure that I have that stage. That stage does still exist for when I may actually need it. The last ones that I need are, yes, they are the events. Nothing's really going to happen here, but we can go ahead and say window.add event listener, and we will set it to, I believe it's resize, and when we do that, we want to call the resize function. And finally, we'll do one more, window.add event listener. We're only doing this once, and this is for orientation change, I believe. Oh, sorry, orientation change, and then again we're going to be calling the resize function. So all we're doing here is that when the window is resized, so for example, if I went and did this, the particles would reinitiate. And then when the orientation is changed, so on mobile devices, if you flip the orientation, again the canvas would resize to recalculate everything. So that's it. This is the basic skeleton of what we're doing. So we're getting close. Now we just have to start filling them in. And majority of these functions are pretty simple to fill in. It's just the init particles and the actual particle class itself that are going to be a bit more complex. But we're well on our way. Next up, let's fill in the let's fill in the particle class. We'll start there.